it's still a couple of minutes before 8 p.m. here in the Pacific time zone. And of course, I am still using the Alleyman's Tarot deck. Over on the members side of the channel, after this broadcast has concluded, I will be doing some crystal scrying with this piece of Icelandic spar. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, that was so loud. These cards are a little unwieldy. So today we are going to be reading for the earth signs. The earth signs. That's going to be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And we'll start out with the sign of Taurus. Somebody's wheeling their bins back to their house. Hopefully all the loud stuff will conclude before the readings start. People were blowing stuff up out there like a minute ago, so I have the window closed. All right. So Taurus, how have you been? What have you been up to? Is everything going well? Do you have a jumper? Go ahead and kind of go through your energy throughout your body. Kind of see if there's anything there that you'd like to move around. Check the flow. Start down in the soles of your feet and your toes. You could also start at the crown of your head if you wanted to, and work your way down. Don't forget tips of your fingers, tips of your shoulders, all the extremities, tops of the ears. And I'm almost done shuffling the cards here for you, Taurus. It's difficult to get this part on camera because it's a very unwieldy deck and I don't want to throw the cards. Okay. All right, so we have the jumper, and we'll grab some more from here. And these two. And back this way, grab like 3 or so. It's a good amount. Further down, grab a few more. And that should be enough to get us started. And I will write down your timestamp here. So the jumper that I got for you, Taurus, is the 10 of Attentions. It's all these notifications about you being canceled, kind of like an end to social media presence. This would have to do with communication, so it could be an analog to the 10 of Swords, right? That is coming through with... We've got the black moon and the whole reversed. And between those two things, we have the Hierophant. So what are we looking at in this particular situation? The Hierophant is these traditional values being upheld. Status quo also doesn't necessarily have to be morally upright. And where around it we have the black moon and the whole. We've got similar shapes on both of these cards. It looks a little bit like a portal. We have this portal here, and we have this portal here. And the next card coming with it is the Time Machine. So I feel like there's, for you right now, Taurus, almost like you're looking for a wormhole to travel through. But you're being held back, perhaps, by your ideas of what is possible. That's very interesting, all these portals and the time machine together. Excuse me, I am so sorry. We have the 8 of Pentacles. So this could be something you've been working toward for a long time. It's even possible that some Taurus out there is like a astrophysicist or something like that. And you're looking at these different aspects of what we consider to be time and space continuum and our shared reality. That could be part of your life's work. We have the 9 of Swords reversed, and we also have this fiddle player reversed. Fiddle player. Okay, now I'm starting to hone in on this particular card. So the fiddle player before there was electric guitar, violin was considered to be sometimes a very cavalier type instrument, something that bad boys play, right? Here we have an alleviation of stress and perhaps cutting back on some kind of libertine lifestyle for you, Taurus, as well. The Hierophant is you coming out in your reading also. Need to mention that. So it might have to do with comfort, status quo, what you've been taught to believe. Taurus being a fixed sign. Hi, Kayla, it's lovely. Thank you so much for coming. It's good to see you. Hi, Em. It's good to see you also. I'm so glad you came. We do finally get to that portal. And this card cannot be reversed or upright. So you're going to find this portal. And it's going to come in after you quit stressing out about it and perhaps let go of some of your more trivial pursuits. And that might just be coincidental. It might not be like you have to let go of these things before this will come in. Those might just be the signs. Three of Wands. So that's talking about how this will be returning to you from the energies that you've put out. And we have this 10 of Pentacles. So that's going to be the completion of this process. Either publishing a paper or building whatever time machine you're working on and that you have been working on for a while. It could even be a book. It will probably be different for all of you because it's a general reading. We have the A4, the Emperor coming out reversed. Sometimes this can be harsh, authoritarian environments. Can be somebody who's a bureaucrat. But it can also be a lack of control in situations. And the other cards around it don't seem to make it much clearer because then the next card we have is the Magician showing up upright. Perhaps that is how you have surpassed this energy. How you have pushed this influence out of your life is through this manifestation. And we do have the hawk moth coming out, that death's head moth. I find it very interesting because in the movie Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill would put the moth into the victim's mouth, right? And then on this Magician card in particular, we have like these different spirits coming out of the person's mouth. So like that death's head moth was also thought to like carry spirits. So it's very interesting that all of those cards, or those two cards, kind of came out together. Now, with that card in the reverse, something is still not fully transformed yet. There could even be something that's like a series of portals, a series of gates, or milestones throughout a process, because we have another mile marker here with the dark sun. It's kind of like a bizarro world energy that where you have the sun card, everything is great. You're very successful. Perhaps in the bizarro universe, you're still very successful, but it's in something that you never would have thought of doing. So that bizarro energy isn't necessarily bad, it's just bizarre. We have some people coming out. The Empress and the Knight of Wands. So it's time for action with that Knight of Wands there. And that is a spark of energy, fire energy. The Empress here can be your energy, Taurus, through that Venus correspondence. And the Empress is somebody who is waited upon, but who is still able to utilize resources to create. And that's represented down here at the bottom by this wheat. It's very similar to that Queen of Pentacles, fertile proliferation, water of earth energy. So it could be that change is coming in now to where you become really successful with that. Because we have that Empress energy flanked by the Knight of Wands and the Death card. So that'll be a swift moving transformation carrying you into the lap of luxury. Oh, and then that Emperor coming out reversed. Remember this guy? That could be leaving something behind, like expectations of needing to be in control, expectations of how much power you need to have in situations. We do still have victory will be deferred. So there are going to be more things to unfold in this situation that will lead to more mobility. The Empress will be good, but the Empress doesn't really need to travel that much. She can if she chooses to, but there's going to be something in that brings in more mobility, because we already have that Knight of Wands here. That's going to be the beginning of it. But there's going to be more to come after that. So we have, I'll just call this little white dog Osito, because that's the name of one of the dogs who lives here. And he looks pretty similar, except Osito's a very shaggy dog, and this dog is very short hair. Very nervous, but a good companion. And the strength card is coming out with this dog too. Your strength might be that you have people around you who are very loyal. So we also have the Star card coming out with the Ace of Swords. And the Star card is reversed. So, what is holding back from your hopes and dreams being fulfilled is there needs to be an action taken with this Ace of Swords. We have the Traitor card coming out. And the flip side of this is false devotion, too. So we're looking at somebody without loyalty now. So one of the strengths that you have around you is a loyal support group, but there's also elements, it looks like, of people who are trying to get one over. The publishing goblin and the letter are coming out reversed here. So it could be like stolen mail. It could be that somebody doesn't pass along a message that they were supposed to in relation to something having to do with work. And the publishing goblin, this could be writing, but it could also be different creative fields and adjacent, especially like adjacent to creative fields. We have a Fool card coming out, so that will be a new beginning coming in. The King of Coins, this is your energy, Taurus. So with this new beginning is going to come that stability that you thrive in. We have the Hermit reversed, so coming out of that time of seclusion, and perhaps also this is a variant of the Hermit card. So potentially putting that to bed, finaling that out as well. This mirror reflecting back to you all the deepest parts of your psyche. If you stare into it too long, you could go quite mad, of course. But it also offers the power for transformation. But there is going to be something about the... Oh, hi, Raziel. Thank you so much for coming. It's good to see you. Something about this particular Empress energy. And it might have to do with travel. Something about that might not end up working out, and it looks like there's disappointment around this one particular situation. But there is going to be a new beginning immediately after that, or immediately before even. This might even be you choosing a brand new situation in favor of money. And that means this other situation with the Empress, this kind of, it could be passive income, it could be being a flight attendant, it could be any number of different things. So that is going to conclude the Taurus reading for this week. This week. As you know, I have been doing elemental scrying over on the members side of the channel. I also do readings for the channel members over there. If that interests you, you're cordially invited. But your presence here on the channel, whether you're watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, ringing the little bell for notifications, all of those things are so, so greatly appreciated. So the next sign that I will be reading for is Virgo. And full disclosure, I am a Virgo rising, so I too am invested in this particular reading. I'm invested in all of them, people who have different energies in their charts, and you like to think about what might be going on with them. Excuse me, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper, that's why. I know some of my friends do watch the channel, so I'm not spying on you or anything. It's just a fun game to play. So, Virgo, if you would like, relax a bit. Starting in the center of your heart, try to send little electronic impulses from your heart out into your nervous system and the rest of your body. And use these little impulses to clean up your nervous system so it is flowing and operating optimally. And just allow that warm, tingling sensation to wash over your body and help you relax, relax, relax. And I will be done shuffling the cards very soon. So if you'd like to go ahead and set your intention for the reading, I invite you to do that at this time. I really do have to shuffle the cards quite well, I promise. But I'm almost done. Yeah, see, they've been blowing stuff up out there. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's not really any of my business. All right, Virgo, let's pull some cards. This amount. These ones. That feels like too much. Okay. All right. And I will put down your timestamp. Let's get started. Yeah, this is a big, thick stack of cards. So the first card in your reading, Virgo, is weird ass mystical shit. There's something related to this about which you no longer have a choice. The outcome is inevitable, and it is represented here by the Ten of Swords, whatever that outcome is. However, that is immediately followed by the Nine of Leisure. So there could be something that comes to an absolute ending, but it actually opens up to a period of great leisure and enjoyment, pastimes, a wish fulfillment through pastime. We have the last round reversed. So this is kind of a card of endings also. And where it's showing up in the reverse, there could have been a close call with something. Because we have the card for day, and then we have the Tower coming out reversed too. So I'm going to be looking at the Tower and the last round both coming out reversed as a similar energy. There could have been a really close call, and it's because you were doing something during the day when it would have been light outside and slightly warmer, than doing something at night. So just keep that in mind, Virgo. We have some cards coming out reversed, and then we have the Horizon acting as our separator into the next series of events. So we have the Thing Among Reflections, we have the World, and we have that Joker, which is the woman playing the harp sitting on a rock. And if you look, the World and that Joker have very similar body posture. They're both kind of curled up in a seated stance. This could be a cycle turning over, needing to turn over, but it hasn't yet. We do have a lot of cards related to endings here for you, Virgo, in the reading, especially this Ten of Swords. And it could be that there was a choice that you made that brought in this Ten of Swords, and that it has to do with weird ass mystical shit. The Thing Among Reflections, stuff isn't going to be chasing you around out of the corner of your eye anymore. And that is an inevitability as you grow in your practice, or even in the mundane sense. But because the reading did start with weird ass mystical shit, we do have to talk about it in those terms as well. So this doesn't turn over. But one of the indicators is going to be that you will be able to see more or less activity around you when this turnover point occurs, because this is how those cards have come out. So that's going to be kind of an indicator to you, is that you will be seeing things, you will see signs. Some of those things might not seem related, and some of them could be a little bit spooky. We are coming into spooky season after all. And so then we have our next delineation of the horizon here. These cards are very similar. They're divided in a similar way. Likewise, there's not really an upright or a reversed for either of these cards. Kind of like a happily ever after, whether it's good or bad, that everything turns out all right. Something to do with the wild hunt. The wild hunt is kind of a spectral event that occurs in the treetops. It's when animals or breeze will rustle the tops of the trees. People ascribe that to some kind of ghostly hunting party running across the treetops. So there could be things like that popping up. That would be very similar to this, the thing of among reflections in this particular scenario and reading, Virgo. We have a couple of death cards coming out, one reversed, the next one upright, and they have similar kinds of color schemes going on with them. And then between the two, we have this Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, this particular one, has a scene with a couple of Cupid-looking angels on the back, it looks like, hunting a heart. So there might be something that until you become very passionate about it, Virgo, and you are ready to manifest that passion, that the change was not able to be made. We have the Comforter, lightning in a bottle, then a new beginning with the Fool, and then we'll stop this particular run of cards with the Hanged Man, this particular part of the narrative. So you might have actually gotten to a place in your life where you're able to be comfortable, and that became the catalyst for this new beginning. If we look at these two cards together, they have a very similar kind of feel and color scheme. So you might also be encouraged not to get too comfortable because it will end up causing you to go into stasis. There's a lot of energy in these cards. There might also be things that after this new beginning, it's kind of like hurry up and wait. And you end up having to take some time aside. It could be something to do with a learning curve, because we do have the Three of Books coming out where this dog is trying to teach these turkeys how to read letters. And I don't know. Probably get through all of it. We'll see. The Albright is coming out reversed again. This figure has been coming out reversed in a few of the readings. And it's an omnipotent power and able to shine through almost anything. And there's a couple of people coming through. There's a handful of people coming through behind this energy reversed. Sometimes other people will hide behind them, or they might also disguise themselves as different people when they come out in readings. So the people who are coming out behind this Albright reversed, we have a Knight of Cups, which is about trusting one's intuition, can also be a water sign person, or an offer of friendship or love coming in. We have that ruthless Queen of Swords reversed, which is almost antithetical to the Knight of Cups. And then we have the King of Swords upright. So a situation perhaps where there is a very strong and fair-minded active energy linked to a very petty and ruthless, somewhat passive energy, but it would still be quite active because she's the Queen of Swords. I only say that because she's reversed. I'm not trying to talk badly about the Queen of Swords in general. And these people exist. That's why they come out in the readings. You suspect in some situation, Virgo, there's an abuse of power. And perhaps this Queen of Swords is linked to somebody who's much more powerful, but also much more fair-minded. And that's why it's coming out like that. But that disappointment from that situation is going to be righted. Either you get over it or it just isn't important anymore. And that King of Swords will have repercussions, it looks like, from their involvement with that situation. So even though they might not have been the driving force behind what the Queen of Swords was doing, because they are so closely linked to that person, it's going to end up affecting them. Secrets coming out with the High Priestess reversed. You might also not be able to see how this is going to come in, which is the King of Pentacles. So this could be a person who's also an earth sign coming in. It could also be that you come into an exalted and stable energy as the King of Pentacles, Virgo. These three cards kind of read to me like shoulda, woulda, coulda. The Four of Wands can be about purchasing property. Six of Cups, things returning from the past. And then, of course, we have the House of God reversed. That is the Tower reversed. So to me, the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups could have been things that you had aspirations toward in the past. But those things would not have worked out for you because they're too modest. We have like the Six of Cups here, Four of Wands here. These are both like pretty low numbers, you know. Should be shooting for 9s and 10s. Even if you have to beg, borrow, and steal to get there, right? This can be about craftiness too. So not necessarily that someone's getting one over on another person, but just that you are coming up with creative solutions to problems. And that is going to resolve that world card situation that we had way back here. That is going to be when that transformation ends up taking place. And you're going to be leaving behind, feeling like you're under attack. It's a very different energy from what we have here with that Seven of Swords, right? We got the Seven of Swords, and then we have Seven of Wands reversed right after that. So almost this could even be a social equalization, that you really figure out what your social group looks like. Who are the people that you're still in touch with? And where do you fit in to all these different situations in your life. We have the boogeyman reversed. So there could have been something that at one time was very threatening to you, and now it's kind of going away. This is going to be part of a transformation, the Judgment card. Judgment is often a precursor to that finalization of the world. But in this particular case, because we're seeing like all of this up and down and in and out, I think this could be happening simultaneously, that there's a leveling up process. There is Two of Pentacles, either a business partnership or a financially beneficial partnership of some kind. Good for drawing in material resources. We have this Ace of Wands, a Page of Pentacles, and then that Six of Wands is reversed. So the beginning of something that has the potential to bring in victory for you. And finally for you, Virgo, we have the Death card and the Queen of Wands coming out reversed. So that's going to be a transformation into a much more confident person. Somebody who no longer feels the need to tear down others in order to make themselves feel better. It could also be the end of relationships with people who are like that. And that would be that Seven of Wands reversed also would be a similar type of energy. So that is going to conclude the Virgo reading for this week. I'm going to shuffle the cards now and we'll move on to the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn, if you would like, just relax. Could count backwards from 10. And then count backwards from 11. Count backwards from 12. And every time you come back to the top of your count, focus on your breathing for 5 seconds. And again, just relax. These are all suggestions. You will not be tested on your meditative performance later, I promise. Not by me, anyhow. All right. Shuffle the cards. Shuffle, fill my duffel. My socks are clean and my shirts are ruffled. All right. Let's pick some cards for your reading, Capricorn. And so let's see. It's a good amount of cards. You can always take more if we feel like we need them. Put down the timestamp. Great. So I had the Seven of Cups crawling out of the deck to me right across the bed. I know, I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. It's like, well, I guess I better read it. So the Seven of Cups is about options. Let's look at some of these options. Justice is on the table. The possibility to make something right, to resolve, absolve. We have deconsecration and the high priestess coming out together. There might have been a very rigorous religious life or a very rigorous devotion to something in your life, Capricorn, that now you are decommissioning yourself from that particular way of being. It wouldn't necessarily have to do with spirituality either. It could have been just a job that was very much like a cult that had you really sucked in. It could be a philosophy. It could be anything about which you might have been obsessive to the point of ritual. We're going to be letting go of those things. There is planning around collaboration, some kind of, it's just starting because we're looking at 2s and 3s. It has the potential to lead to a lot of mobility and a transformation, a leveling up. So it's just getting started now, but there's the possibility for travel involved in that, and also the possibility that you'll have a judgment situation come through. We have a Keeper of Swords and a Page of Wands, so a couple of very young, active energies here. That Page of Wands can sometimes be manifesting one's passions, and that can be starting new creative projects. It can be hooking up with other people. That's hooking up with them in all kinds of capacities. The Keeper of Swords, it's almost like we've got one person here with a pen and one person here with a sword. And they're both showing up in the upright to collaborate on something. So these could be potential collaborators too for this project that's getting started. There's going to be then a change. We have a, kind of a placeholder here with the Death card. When those cards come through, the portals, the towers, the death cards, things like that, it lets you know that they're kind of like putting a bookmark in that particular scenario. And we have the Coronation coming out reversed. This has been reversed in a few of the readings. It has to do with one person being sovereign. But if you look, there's a lot of balance to the power in this particular tableau. But all of that power is being transferred to this person who's crouched on the ground receiving that divinity. So this will not be a situation that only benefits one of the people who's involved. Ace of Wands and Six of Pentacles. This is going to increase the power of bringing in material resources. Six of Pentacles can be securing investors. It can be investing yourself in the work of others. And Ace of Wands, you will have the power to do that. Not just the finances, but the know-how, knowing that what you're putting your money into, those people will be accountable to you for it. We do have the Builder coming out in the reverse. So a lot of what I'm getting here is that there's not going to be like one person in charge. There's going to be an overall collaborative effort, and that you're being discouraged from taking too much of a leadership role, Capricorn. Even though you're very smart, you're very practical, which are good traits for a leader to have. We have the Lovers coming out in the upright, and this particular Lovers, we see the contrast as being between life and death, being in love even beyond the grave, and that energy between those two people being eternal. This is going to bring an end to some kind of competition. So it could be a love relationship and you stop seeing other people, but it could also be that your love, or that the love in the situation, is what makes it more collaborative and less competitive. The King of Swords is coming out here. So bringing back around potentially this Justice card situation. The King of Swords sometimes I use as an analog for the Justice card, the Minor Arcana. We have Deals in the Dark and Temperance reversed coming out back to back. So because there's a lack of practice or patience, there might be an underhanded thing being done, that somebody's pulling out the dirty tricks because they want to accelerate a process, or because they are trying to cover up for their own shortcomings in their skill set. But of course, we've had the Justice card come out, we've had the King of Swords, and we also have Deus Ex Machina, which is the hunting hand form of the divine reaching down and correcting something manually. Two of Wands coming out here again. So more planning process than taking place. This time more serious. Here we're going on a day hike, maybe an expedition. Here we're delving into more serious matters. More of the arcane, more of the occult. So there could be rituals being planned, or steps being planned to lead to where we have the Nine of Sweeties, that wish fulfillment coming through in a situation. We have the Page of Swords upright, the Star reversed. The way that I'm reading this is that the Star in this case is going to represent social groups. And so the Page of Swords, somebody is finding out all of the details about these particular social groups, perhaps in an attempt to elevate their position socially and economically, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to do. It would kind of fit in with these behaviors, perhaps, but certainly nothing that bad. There's a transformation that needs to take place, but is being deferred or delayed. So we have the Death card here. We have the Ten of Cups reversed here. It could be breaking up with somebody. You could end it on good terms. And perhaps that breakup has already happened. That's also possible because we have then after that the Ace of Cups coming through. And behind the Ace of Cups and that emotional renewal, we have Giuseppe. Giuseppe coming in just in time because I'm starting to run out of cards in my hand here. So I'm going to read the rest of these and we'll come back to Giuseppe because he tells us to pick 3 cards. 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, the Quit Your Job card. It's not worth it. Page of Curses. So this would be another version of the Page of Swords coming out upright. That there's a lot of information gathering going on right now. And this could be downloads, but it could also, as I mentioned, be somebody finding out about your social footprint here with the star reversed. And then finally we have the Queen of Cups and the Empress showing up reversed. So this is a very passive energy. Queen of Cups reversed sometimes can be a drinking problem. Or being dehydrated. Can also be somebody who's emotionally sloppy. And this Empress energy here showing up in the reverse, somebody who expects to be waited on hand and foot and who maybe doesn't have their own means of support also. So let's find out. It seems like a woman coming in at the end. Or like somebody, either you, Capricorn, seeing the other person this way, or this other person seeing you this way, that there's a perception that somebody's emotionally sloppy and expects to be waited on hand and foot, expects to have everything brought to them. And that's why this information gathering is going on and why it's perceived that it's not worth it. But there is the potential for a wish fulfillment here. A lot of King of Swords and Justice energy. Quite a complex story. So that is going to conclude the Earth sign readings for this week. I'm going to go now over to the member side of the channel and do some crystal scrying with this chunk of Icelandic spar. And until we meet again, I look forward to seeing you very soon.